the new way to think about accountability may mean you don't have to be the bad guy. When you've got winners on your team, they will hold each other accountable. You heard Casey Schilling say 1 great employee equals 3 good employees. When I interviewed Kip Tyndall last summer, he said, yeah, we've done the math and we've refined that number a little bit. We have figured out that 1 great employee equals 27 lousy employees. Think about it, right? A lousy employee not only doesn't do the work, they create a culture where just getting by is okay. And in fact, they may be one of the saboteurs on the other side of the bridge trying to blow it up. So they can actually harm your organization. So here are the insights. Number 1, remember what I said? One of the takeaways is decide what you stand for. Do you remember what I said? If you only heard one thing and I walked off the stage right now, what was the one thing that you heard? All right, I don't know. A guy said it. Who said it back there?
What?
What? I'm going to give him I'll give it to you. This is my question book.
I can't hear him though. What did he say?
He said clarity. Clarity creates confidence. It's the only thing you need to remember. I can walk off the stage now. Know what you stand for. Know what your organization stands for. Know where you're going. Know what you're not going to put up with. The problem with accountability is that we've got smart people that work for us, and they hand us what when they don't get the job done? Excuses. And they sound really good. Talk is cheap, and we often buy it. So the first thing to do is find some winners that stand for the same things that you stand for. Number 2, talent predicts future results. Who you've got on your team is a great predictor of your culture, and your culture is a great predictor of your future performance. Number 3, here's why this trust thing is so important. Without trust, there's no conflict. Think about it. You aren't going to tell a colleague your deepest, darkest fears, your concerns. You're not going to be vulnerable with someone that you don't trust. But if you can be vulnerable and talk openly and honestly about the things that bug you, the things that are holding us back, then we have a shot at addressing them. But if we don't talk about it, it's just going to be the same old, right? That's without change, improvement is difficult. That's why this trust thing matters. And you've got to have people that are all aligned when it comes to your values. So one thing that you can think about is to actually, because I used to think of values as sort of a kumbaya thing, right? I mean, it just sounded like that's not for me. I'm a results guy. We got a job to do. We got numbers to make. We got clients to please. This sounds like kumbaya around a campfire with marshmallows. I'm like, I don't think so. But here's what I found. If values really matter, they can be a filter for your decision making. Who you hire, how you deal with underperformance, what customers do you choose to take on, what suppliers do you want to work with. So figure out what matters to you. You can have all of these words, right, and the 3 that I said, the trifecta: integrity, honesty, respect. The problem with that is that they are overused. So the opportunity with your values is to have them reflect your distinctive personality as an organization. You can use that as recruiting. You can use it in terms of, I think it's a competitive advantage. And when you figure that out, you can do like Southwest Airlines. You can say, okay, well, these are all the generic words on the left-hand side. We're going to pass it through the filter, and we're going to come up with 3 values that describe who we really are and how we show up and how we treat people. So there are a couple of things that I love about this. Number 1, there's only 3 values. Have you ever gone into a place where there are 10 on the wall? How in the world can you remember 10 values? I'm not saying they're bad. I was doing a planning session about a year ago, and we've got an exercise where I said, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to our values. That's our foundation. So tell me about your values. They said, yep, we've got 7 values. Fantastic. What are they? They got 4 of them. One guy got on his phone, Googled their own website because he couldn't remember the other 3, right? If the leaders can't remember it, do you think the guys on the shop floor can? They cannot. They also cannot remember phrases. So the other thing that's cool is that these words belong to Southwest Airlines. They describe who they are and what it's like to work at our organization. That would be a challenge for you guys to think about that. Here's how you get there. Page 9. This exercise I call Heaven and Hell. Here's heaven, here's hell. How does it work? I'll give you the short version. If you want to go to my website, you can download the 12-step process for working through this exercise. It's called Heaven and Hell. Pretty original. But here's why it's such a cool exercise. When you say we're going to form a committee and we're going to take a fresh look at our values, and everybody go like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever, and you do that and you start picking out all these mom and apple pie phrases, the thing about this exercise is it sets all those phrases aside, and it works like this. You think about a time when you had a mountaintop experience at work. Wow, that was great. We knocked it out of the park. That felt awesome. We felt good. Our client felt good. Put down some words around that experience. And the flip side is, boy, you know, it really sucked when. And put some words down around, that's hell. What makes this so powerful is you cannot fake those emotions. And then you figure out what the word is. So this is what mine looks like, right? So you start with a timeline and you go, okay, how far do you want to go back? This was back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. It's when I was first starting my career, right? So I was like, man, here's some cool things and here's some things that really, kicked me in the gut. And I'm still getting over Alabama beating Texas in the national championship game. Things have not been good in Austin, Texas since we lost to Alabama. That was hell for us. So when you think about that, that will begin to give you a framework in which to describe your values in some way that is actually meaningful and reflects your distinctive personality.